John and Seal, I wanted to give you some quick information about the different measurables there are for internet companies. And the place you usually start is Google Analytics. That's something I put on my websites to measure the traffic. If you go to a third party and they want to talk about, buying a big chunk or buying your entire internet company, they generally want to see Google Analytics because it's a third party that isn't they can trust not to cook the books. If you have your internal stats, they're less trustworthy. So not only does Google have good statistics, but they're more reliable, and that's generally why I have them on the site. Let me just explain a couple of things here. This is October 1 through October 30th on VidExplorer. Okay, you can see right here page views and then unique page views. So if the same person clicks on the same page more than once, they they'll be counted as page views, but they won't be counted. They'll be counted only once as unique page views. Now that number usually it's not double like you see here. The unique would be like 80% of the total page views. The reason it's double right there is because I'm working on the site. I'm clicking on some of the same pages, and the reason that this is important is I think unique page views are much more important than total page views. So I always look at this lower number, and rather than getting excited about 10,000. The real number is more around 5,400. That's where we're at for page views for the month. We talked about just kind of a base that you'd want to be at where you feel like the site has some sort of foundation to really start to grow. I picked the number, and it may be a bit arbitrary, but in my mind, 100,000 page views a month is where we want to be, where we feel like, hey, we got a nice traffic flow and we have an easier time building from here. So roughly 20 times where we're at right now is where we want to get to. That helps to explain the magnitude of what we're trying to do. Let me go back to another page here. Okay, this is where the traffic comes from, and I'm gonna print off hard copies so you can look at them more closely. But you can see most of the traffic's coming from Reddit. If I click the percentage button here, it'll tell us exactly. Almost 50% of the traffic's coming from Reddit. The other's direct. Now, that just means the people either bookmarked it or got to it through another source that Google isn't figuring out. I suspect a lot of these people are coming from a site called StumbleUpon that Google doesn't track very well because of the way that their site's set up. Um, Google is only giving us 8% of our traffic right now, which is extremely low. On Medlaw Plus, it's 80%. So the reason that is because the site is so young. It has so few links right now. But this is going to grow just because as we're adding pages and we get bigger, we're going to get more Google traffic. And it's kind of synergistic. You get the more pages, you get more links. Google gives you a bigger presence. It's easier to get traffic from them. Just from doing what I'm doing, this number is going to go up substantially. So there's a certain amount of growth that's built in from just what we're doing, but it's not the vehicle to get huge. It would just be the vehicle to get us to a more comfortable level. You can see some of the other sites. This one is actually Twitter. That's a URL they use to send people to you. So I'm not Twitter. It gets it's not a huge traffic generator on any of the sites I have. I'm not a big Facebook person, but Facebook can generate more traffic. FeedBurner, we can get a lot more from this one. This is a news feed site. They call it RSS. Is like one of the things I do. I create a little RSS feed and send it to this FeedBurner place, and it's another way for people to find articles, and generally it's set up just for news. So you take the news and political articles that you create, and you put a link and a little bit of information about it into this little feed, and then people can follow it. It's a way for them to search for information. It's outside of Google search, it's outside of social media. It's just another avenue to gain traffic. And I expect the way it works is they sign up for your feed if they like what they see. So you gain followers, and it's a good traffic source, but it takes time. Um, I expect this to rise substantially. So FeedBurner, Google's going to rise substantially. Those are going to be just natural ways doing what we're doing to make the site grow and get bigger. Well, that's a quick overview. There's just one other thing. This is the Google Webmasters page for VidExplorer. They keep two items in here. This is the sitemap of all the URLs that I've submitted for VidExplorer to Google to date. It's just about at 1,000. What's interesting is that Google has quickly indexed all those pages already. So almost 100% of the pages are indexed. The ones that aren't are the new ones. Generally, they're indexing them every 2 or 3 days. They get indexed. So that's a good sign that Google likes the stuff that we're sending them. Just because it's indexed doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get traffic. You have to do other things, but it's a bar you have to get over. It's the first step in turning Google into an important source. The next steps is to get impressions, and you see at the beginning we had 0. These are search impressions where people type terms into Google search and whether you come up in the list. So we got 3,000 impressions for the whole month, which is practically nothing. 90 clicks, that's about 1 in 30 you're going to get a click. That's artificially high, I think. I think that I've probably got 10 of those clicks are probably me searching Google and using it to search our own site to see how we turn up on Google and then clicking on something. So I think this is going to grow exponentially. You can see from the graph how we're starting to just in a short amount of time. It will grow much quicker. We'll get much more traffic, and then it's the question is how much, and to turn these people into regular readers. That's the issue. So that's just a quick overview. I wanted you to see some of the stats, and I'll be sending you more information later. Bye.